Next question is from Benjamin F. on LinkedIn. Hey, Adam, love the videos. I'm brewing on a 7-barrel system. I have a mash lauter setup, meaning that it is a mash tun, lauter tun, all in one. I am getting the expected sugar conversion in the mash per my recipe calculator, and my pH is fine. However, by the time I get to my final runnings, my sugar density really falls off a cliff, and I can struggle with pH. What are your thoughts? The first question I asked, well, one of the questions as we were kind of drilling down on this was, are you measuring your Sparge water? I think sometimes this is something that can go overlooked, particularly on the pro side. And I don't know if that sounds odd to you or not, but I know plenty of pros that will just begin sparging and only stop sparging when they have enough wort in their kettle. And they still have a large amount of liquid in their mash / lauter tun. I don't think that's an ideal way to approach it. I will say I've seen situations where a person has gone from not measuring Sparge water and just sparging until you have full volume and then dumping a ton of diluted wort down the drain. So a ton of diluted wort, usually high pH wort as well. Diluted wort, high pH wort, and it's a massive waste of resources, right? But then I've seen that same person start to measure that, get better efficiency because they're not diluting the contents of that ton the entire time, getting better pH numbers. And I've seen multi-beers come out rounder, smoother, and more robust. And that's the situation that we're looking at here. I would really encourage you to make sure that you are doing your calculations as far as that goes. I know sometimes people are in a situation where they don't have a flow meter. See what you can rig up to figure it out and try to stay close. You really don't want to be over sparging that mash tun. You know, I think sometimes people think, okay, well, we've got our mash tun here, and you know, you can look down into it and here's like the whole grain bed up top, and then here's the cylinder of it. I think people think that they have like really, they have all this dense wort right here, and then they're going to start flushing it down with Sparge water, and it's just going to move down in a brick. You know, like all the dense stuff is just going to roll out of there. And, you know, depending on what you're doing with your mash, you can be diluting that whole thing. So I would be wary of that and really try to dial those volumes in, both from a beer quality and from a conservation standpoint. Appreciate your question, Benjamin. It was bananas. Spooning and Vert points out that once he saw a guy who adjusted his pH with a squeaky squirt bottle during the mashing. What was that about? The guy sounded like Mega Man.